blessed ones of the nations of the world. This is your brother Dan Moses of Say Your Sakwadi of TRC, Ghana, coming your way with these exposés, testimony, New World Disorder. But before we begin, I want to give us a special welcome by saying Akwaba, Allen, Sahalen, Shagitam, welcome. And Ganjoni, Benvindo, you are welcome. Kuso, Diwo, to Sanyo Okukulaba, Mauya, Mingalaba, Boyei, Malamu, Karibu, Ekabo, No, O, Sanu, Dezua, Enquan de Ena, Bitash, Duburo, Pezadovat, Bine I Vinit, Barigalus, Vita Iti, Ayubon, Dobridoya, Velkomen, Estan, Hozot, Walam, Adoman, Bienvenido, Namaste, Swagatam, Kush, Amadid, Baruch, Haba, Marhaba, Wanyong Haminida, Wanying, Nyejeko, Anjanime, Nyejeko, Wezolo, Novio, Mia, Wezo, Akwaba to the program Testimony New World Disorder. Testimony New World Disorder is the program through which we get to know what is happening to Ghana, America, humanity, and the nations of the world in these times of global deception, delusion, and lies that are made up by some of the very people that we trust to be there for humanity and the nations of the world, and yet have chosen to be the very people that are dealing with us so treacherously by willful lies, deception, and delusion, having brought humanity and the nations of the world into this total global helplessness. This is the program through which we get to know the truth as to what they are doing to us. And we are most grateful to God that by this same program, we as well get to receive some divine guide, divine direction, divine insight that we may know what to do in these types of global, unthinkable wickedness against humanity and the nations of the world. Because it's not enough knowing that there's a problem and not having a solution to it. So we are most grateful to God that we as well get to receive some divine guide, divine direction that we may know what to do. So, Akwaba to the program, Testimony, New World Disorder, Humanity and the Nations of the World. We are beginning a special series which shall uncover to us what is being done to the human race. So, as from this very expose, this shall be part 1, and we shall have part 2, shall be what to do. The next expose that shall come shall be part 3 of the same episode, and then part 4. It shall continue until we have finished the whole series, so that if ever you log into, you access this page, Testimony New World Disorder, you can follow the exposés from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 downwards, and to have the entire understanding of the whole. It is not good if you will be skipping the exposés. It is better for you to follow from one chronologically, so that you get a full understanding of what is happening to us. The truth is, they are coming after your souls. Your soul, my soul, the souls of humanity and the nation. That is the agenda. That's what they are doing to us. And they know that they have hijacked the church, hijacked the mosque, hijacked the synagogue. Their feet is on the neck of humanity. And there is no way they think that we can understand. Because for some reason, they have been able to find reason to play the church, play many in the house of God, that we have been blinded and as to what they are doing to us. And although some know the truth, yet for fear, we are disappointing the God of the Bible, and we are disappointing humanity. But many got slain for standing for the truth. So we must be willing to stand for the cross of Christ, stand for the truth. Christ our Lord died and raised for the truth. So why should we deny the truth in seeking our life? It is written that whoever seeks his life shall lose it. So if you deny the truth, you would disappoint humanity by thinking that by living in fear, subjecting to the global evil forces, you shall be preserved. Bible says you shall lose your life. And he said, whosoever shall lose his life shall gain it. So losing your life in this case is standing for the truth, no matter the cost. And God, who is far more than able to keep and to preserve all that is entrusted to him, shall keep you. Akwaba to the program. Testimony New World. So we are all involved. We must speak up, no matter the repression, the suppression, and the oppression of the human race, the Ghanaian people, the American people, Europeans, Asians, Australians, and the nations. No matter the repression against us, we must still gather the courage and speak up for the human race against the global evil. Akwaba to the program. Testimony New World Disorder. Humanity and the nations of the world. This expose is being recorded on the 6th of October 2021, in the night of Wednesday. Before you receive it this week, the terror network of Nana Addo Akufo, the FBI, the Montgomery County Police, the Ghana Embassy, Washington DC, they all might have had access to it and would carry out their damage control before even you get access. But don't be worried. We are remaining focused. We are not moved about what they do. They have access to what is being recorded now. I am under the secret surveillance, which the Ghana Embassy, the FBI, Montgomery County Police, the terror network, they all have access to the secret surveillance at this room. Whatever proceed out of my mouth, they hear it. They are watching me. They are seeing me live. In my this is coming from the room where I'm recording. They see me live, but we are not moved. Akwaba to the program testimony. So just let's have a heads up about that. Humanity and the nations of the world. Now let's begin to get into the killing of His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings and the killing of the innocent Haitian president on the 7th of June 2021. We are beginning, so this is part one. We are beginning with the basis of this information so that we get a clearer understanding. Now, America, humanity and the nations, noble people of Ghana and of Haiti, what we need to know is this U.S. undercover agent, I'm withholding her name. She is an American citizen. However, the truth that might be known to some Haitians, noble people of Haiti, is that her biological parents, her father and mother, are Haitians, and she's also a Haitian. They are from Haiti. About half a century ago, political unrest in the land of Haiti affected the family of the father was called Mr. Jacques Caesar. The mother was called Marie Caesar. The political unrest affected the family. The brother of Mr. Jacques Caesar was murdered. He was killed in the unrest, which man was the uncle of this U.S. undercover agent. That made the father of this undercover agent, she was not born then, flee Haiti for U.S. for refuge. In U.S., she was able to secure her document, and he brought the mother down from Haiti years as the years went by. It was in U.S. that later they had this undercover agent. Mr. Jacques Caesar had some children in Haiti, not with Marie Caesar. But between Marie Caesar and Jack Caesar, this is their only daughter that they had in US. So, noble people of Haiti, let's get the understanding of what is being kept from you by the US government, by political sticks in Haiti, by the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo, and the Ghana Embassy. Humanity and the nations of the world, the noble people of America can attest to the truth that my press and fight for the defense of the US Constitution, for the defense of the American people, justice, and for truth, democracy, had never been against the American people or the nation America. There are millions upon millions in America that are being in support of this just cause regarding the heinous crimes of the US undercover agents to stop the evil. All through the periods, the 8 years of His Excellency Obama, there had been Americans that would come openly to the White House to stand in solidarity with me. People from all over the world will come. In my address, they will come. So the American people know that this Ghanaian, this African, has never been against their nation or against the American people. When persecution, torture against me in America has been so overwhelming that I could not go to the White House to go voice out on the behalf of humanity, the American people, Ghana. Many American people have stood up at the White House and have held the fort. If I had to flee to Canada, they have held the fort until I came back. If I had to flee to Ghana, they have held the fort until I came back. That is what humanity must do. We all belong, and whichever challenge that we face as members of the humans, we must be there for each other. I want to congratulate the noble people of France for their unthinkable courage that they have exhibited on the behalf of humanity. Amidst their helplessness, they have held the fort. They have held on in resistance. That is what must be. That at any point in time, if we cannot have even one person, any nation standing up on the behalf of humanity against what is happening to the human race, at least there must be an individual. And we must all stand with that individual and must stand with that nation whose people stand up to the defense of the human race. So I go back to the program, Testimony, the World Disorder, Humanity and the Nations of the World. Now let's go into the background of the killing of His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings, which triggered the killing of the Haitian president. This US undercover agent, my one-time spouse, who got married to me through a set-up marriage in church by the FBI, CIA, the terror network of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo and his crime network, by the Ghana Embassy, Washington, D.C. When a cover got blown in 2007, the rest has been total terror, persecution, torture against me and against children of her own womb, to suppress me, to repress me, to oppress me from speaking out against her crimes, against crimes that is committed against Ghana, my two tortured and abducted children, and I. On April the 6th, 2011, the US undercover agent with the CIA, the terror network of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo was nowhere the president of Ghana. supported by traitors that have infiltrated the Ghana police service, tribalists that have infiltrated the Ghana police service. They colluded for US government money to get me kidnapped and lynched on the soil of Ghana. God helped me. I escaped after 6 days of terror against me in a forest. When I returned to the US on the 2nd of May 2000, or on the 9th of May 2011, this undercover agent adapted the strategy of making the Montgomery County Police continue their persecution, terrorizing of the family, abuse of her own children, so that any attempt for me to voice out, she would attack me physically and bring in the police and get the police to unleash their terror against me. She succeeded after I withheld. I held on and not respond to her abuse of her own children with violence. She had to plan with the Montgomery County Police, the FBI, and abduct my children on the 13th of June 2011, 2 months after I had returned to US to live with her under the same abode, in the same home. She used the strategy of allowing persecution against the family, abusing our children. So she abducted our children, which is the work of the Montgomery County Police. Humanity and the Nations. So, to the program Testimony, New World Disorder. The evil of her planning with the CIA, terror network of Akufo Addo, Ghana, money-loving folks in the Ghana police service, resulted in a situation where her father was terribly affected. Her health deteriorated. He felt sick as a result of her hardened-heartedness to refuse to return her children to her domestic home. The father fell ill, and it was obvious that the father would die. I had the opportunity and I met this US undercover agent. She chose to meet me on the 2nd of May 2012. I had appealed to her after I had gone to pray with her in on a park in Germantown here. Appealed to her at the park that we must save the father's life. She must heed to the father's voice and return the children. You must all go see her father in the state of New York. For her to set her children free, she opted for her own father to die. She would not. She would rather see her father to die than her children and myself being set free from torture and persecution by the FBI, terror network of Montgomery County Police. On the 4th of May, Barack Obama, His Excellency, can testify, my brother, that at the White House, I stood up and I was calling on the White House to address this issue, which has terribly affected the father of the US undercover agent, because the father is dying as a result of this issue. You know what the politicians do? They played their politics as though they want to address the issue, but they did not. 4 days after, on the 8th of May 2012, the father of the US undercover agent died. The undercover agent vowed that for her father that has died, she will continue to kill Ghanaians indiscriminately. And any attempt for me to expose their crime, She will kill them all. That was the genesis of the cowardly secret killing of Ghanaians. The first victim to her revenge for her father that died, was the cowardly secret killing of His Excellency John Evans Fifi Atamios, who was the very first president of Ghana to have died on the throne as a president. This had been covered up by the state of Ghana in the interest of the US government and this undercover agent for years. Humanity and the nation are covered to the program Testimony, New World Disorder. So, all that is happening to humanity at the hands of this US undercover agent is vindictiveness, hatred, and revenge, which has continued against the noble people of Ghana up till this very day, to the killing of the Haitian president. Now, we have just begun, so we shall go into details. But what we need to know is, in 2020, after the US undercover agent, in her vindictiveness and revenge killing against my family members, against the people of Ghana, he stepped up that in 2019, 2 of my family members had to be killed under 5 weeks. He killed them using the medical field. 5 weeks. This is being covered up by the government of Ghana, the US government, because so much US government money has gone into the government of Ghana, Nana Addo Akufo, in covering up the killing of the Ghanaian people. In 2020, the US undercover agent, with the home that I was residing, I was a tenant in the home of Millicent Bongo and the family, which has been a part of the crime covering network for the US undercover since 2013. But in 2020, I became a tenant in that same home one more time. Millicent Bongo and his household, in collusion with the US Ghana Embassy, Washington, D.C., have made the Montgomery County Police terrorize me at the home, on the job, everywhere, to the point that I had suffered internal bleeding. I was bleeding internally, which started manifesting physically. My physical health was, they were killing me in secrecy to cover up the killing of my 2 family members under 5 weeks. It was a Nigerian company called All African Food, Gettysburg, and another company in Germantown called Henderson Corner 7-Eleven, which company was being used by the Montgomery County, the FBI, the terrorism of Nana Addo Akufo, to terrorize me on the job to the point of me having internal bleeding. That was not enough. The Montgomery County Police, the All African Food stores, Gettysburg, Maryland, the 7-Eleven store, Henderson Corner, they plotted with the household of Millicent Bongo. Because amidst all the terror and torture against me, I was holding on for the sake of humanity, for the sake of the Ghanaian people, for the sake of my 2 tortured and abducted. I would not give up my spirit and die. The truth must be known by the human race, humanity and the nations of the world. So I was holding on, sending reports upon report to the US Justice Department, United Nations, International Criminal, ceaselessly. However, there was total silence from the US government, US Justice Department, the United Nations, International Criminal Court, and international stakes, because the US government wanted it so. Because the government of Nana Addo Dankwa wanted it so. While an innocent member of the human race was being killed in secrecy to cover up heinous crimes against humanity. They made the Montgomery County Police plot with the son of Millicent Bongo called Bramson, that when I had come from work one evening, Bramson should attack me at the home and be violent, aggressive, just seeking to physically injure me. That was a willful strategy by the Montgomery County Police that they eventually had to let the Bramson guy, according to the call the Montgomery County Police to the home. The Montgomery County Police came to the home, and as treacherous as they want to be, because they have decided that they must commit medical terrorism against me. Therefore, in talking to me, I have told them their persecution against me has resulted in me having internal bleeding now. This is not good. The treasury decided that, okay, we have seen that you have told us your physical health is deteriorating, you are bleeding. We cannot leave you to die in this situation, so we want to take you to the hospital to go to take care of your bleeding situation. They have plotted that they are taking me to the hospital, totally ignore my bleeding situation, and then make up medical records, commit medical terrorism against me in covering up the crimes of the US undercover. They use the Holy Cross Hospital to commit this medical terrorism, which I've officially reported to the US Justice Department, International Criminal Court, the United. They all are aware of this. Humanity and the Nations of the Akufo to the program Testimony, New World Disorder. That was not enough. They must kill me by every criminal means. However, I kept on voicing out to humanity through the international authorities as much as I could. And being that the All African food stores was getting exposed, the FBI, the Montgomery County, the US, they were all getting exposed. So they plotted that the All African food stores must get me attacked at work one morning to go make up coronavirus positive results against me, because it had become obvious to me that I wanted to leave the US. Although the case was officially before the US Justice Department, I didn't have to remain in US before the US government, the US Justice Department, the International Criminals Court, the United Nations, the African Union, all the international can ensure justice in this case for the sake of humanity. I didn't have to remain in America. So they had gotten to know that I'm making effort to leave America peacefully and go await justice in Ghana. So the only thing they could do with the Ghana embassy was to collude to go make coronavirus positive results against me, attack me on the job, take me to a coronavirus testing place center at the Montgomery County, Montgomery Health and Human Services on the 25th of September 2020 to go make a coronavirus positive result against me. They woefully failed. I exposed them to the US Justice Department, the United Nations International Criminal Court, that they had no choice than to backtrack, because if they have succeeded in making the coronavirus the positive result, I would not be able to fly out of US. They will use that I cannot fly. So their agenda woefully failed of making, eventually they have to backtrack and make the coronavirus positive result negative, provide the negative results. To their own shame, because they were exposed before the US Justice, but the United International Criminal, they all received reports, so they had to reverse their plot. This is the Ghana Embassy, Washington DC. They did this with the All African Food Stop. Humanity and Nation are covered to the program Testimony. Haiti, we are getting the background story, background truth as to the killing of your president and the killing of Jerry John Rawlings. Time is not our understand. Let's go to the next expose and continue. But let's understand that I intended making this expose part 1 and the part 2 will be what to do. But please, I think we need to hear more. We need to get more. So let's go to part 2, the continuation of this part 1, and then part 3 will be what to do. Bear with me. Part 3 will be what to do. But let's understand that it will be part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, chronologically after this very expose this week. That is how it's going to be. So let's all be following it from one expose to the other. God bless you for giving me the audience and for watching and standing with us in the press for the human race. God bless you. I say God bless my homeland, Ghana. Let's go to the next.